So the first thing I want us to do is, this is our dashboard. We'll be looking at this dashboard. As we look at the dashboard, this is what we want to create. So the first thing is title, right? We will say dashboard for data for impact. And then we say people reached. I'll bring this down. So what we have to do first is to create that header. So I'll click this. There's a small line here. I'll select this line. This line is very useful. I'm going to come here. I'll right click on this line. No, sorry. I'm going to click on this line. I'll go to my button, my laptop, Control C, Control V. Control C, Control V. I've copied and then pasted. Copy and pasted. So I've duplicated it 3 times. Why did I do that? Because I want to use all of them. I want one of them to be straight, another one to be, and one of them to be horizontal, the other one to be vertical. So when I click here, these are the tools that appear for me to fix this visual. I'll come under rotate, and I want to rotate it, right, to 90 degrees. 90 degrees, perfect. So I need one for 90 degrees and I need the other one. So I'll delete this one. I'll come to do one again, Control V. Then this other one, Control V. So anytime I need this particular shape that looks like this one that looks like this, I'm going to just copy and paste, okay, to have it. But I think it's a little bit bent. Let me add it and see whether it goes. Okay, yeah, it is true, it's bent. Okay, now it's okay. You see that it was a little bit bent. Okay, exactly 90. Perfect. Now I'll take this one and bring it up here. Then I draw my line. You see what I'm doing? I'm trying to form that title. That's what I'm trying to do. Good. And then inside here, I'm going to bring my text box. This is my text box. This text box is very, very technical. I want to bring my text box here because I want to write something inside my text box. And I want you to get the same shape with that line. You see? The same shape with that line. So I simply want to say data dashboard for data for impact. Then I'll select that. Then I come here. I want it to be really bigger. And then I want it to stay in the middle. You see, no, I want it to stay in the corner there. And then I'll put my column. And then I say people reached. Well, I want it to be in the middle. And then once I'm here, you see that the visuals, the icon that appear here relates to this particular visual. So I'm going to come to effect and I have the background. So I'm going to click on the background here to just paint that background. I want it to have that, and then I want to also make a guess. I should remove that. I should put white. Yeah, I should put white. Instead, I should change the color of that to this. Perfect. Yeah, I think it's better now. It's better now. Why did I do this? Because I don't want the text box to be, I don't want it to show that there's a text box here. Okay? I want just this line to show here. I want this text box to be missing. If we put another color here, it will show a little bit of color here and a little bit of white, which might make this dashboard not really look good. And then while I'm here again, I'm going to still keep fixing this. So I'm recording this process. It might be too long, but it will be good for you. Good. So that's it. Perfect. So right now I have my small lines here, which I'm going to be using. I'll just keep them somewhere here, and then I want to bring in some images. So I'll go under my style here after I must have chosen images, and then I go under images and I browse. I want to bring in a match local logo. here. So I'll bring this match local logo here, and then I put it up here. Now this is where you can put your logo if you like. You can also put your logo, because I love to put logos on my reports. You see, that's it. And there's one thing I'm also looking at. While I'm bringing these colors, I'm also looking at the color of the logos, because they must match. Okay, they must match to make your report flow. Some of your organizations, you will go a lot with green. Please use your green. You go a lot with purple. Please use your purple. So I'll come here again, choose the image. Come here, maybe Hardy. I think Hardy logo. I don't know which name I saved this. Let me see the name that I used to save this. Yeah, I think Hardy logo is just Hardy logo. Okay, that's fine. I'll click that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Am I sure it's there? Okay, Hardy logo. Alright, so this is it here. It comes in. I also take my time and I fix that to fit in my report. You see? So that's it. Okay. So the report is beginning to look good. If I come up here, I look again and I check. I see what I'm doing. And then the next thing I want to do here is I want to create some other small text that says by population type. I'll come here now. I'll come to this visual and I'll write copy paste. I'll make it small here. I'll just bring it up here a little bit, and then I bring my text again, and then inside this text I'll just write by divisions, because we are writing in context. My data here talks about divisions, subdivisions, right? And then I'll color this. I want to bold that, and I want to make it a little bit bigger, maybe 12, maybe 16 or 14. Yeah, so I'll bring this text again up here, 14 for that data. You see? So by divisions. Perfect. So you find this small line here. So here now, if I go to the style of that line, you see that I can come here again and I change it to black. I'm looking for the color of the border of the line. Good, I have turned it to black. Okay, because when you look at our report here, it has black. So by population type. Okay, let me put by population type, because we still have the same. Yeah, we still have the same data we put by population type. Okay, population type. I think I have to expand this to get the full text. Perfect. So that's where we are. So we are going good. So if I come down here again, you see that I just want to see what's happening here. And then it now tells me that I have to come up with a line, a borderline, okay? Control V. So I'm always keeping an extra visual there, because I can use it, I might need it. So I want to come again to measure. So it's like you are doing an architectural work. Okay, you are doing an architectural work. You are trying to build blocks the same way you find people building houses, building homes. You know, you are also being skillful here and also creative. You see? So that's what I'm doing. And then here again, I want to turn this to black, because it shows that the color of our visual, the border, is black. Okay, I want to turn it to real black. Perfect. Okay, here we are. So we are going to be using our cards here. You see, we want to look at IDPs, returnees, and hosts. These are the total status now. So the first thing we are going to do here, we are going to go down to our table, and then we choose the cards. These are multiple cards. This is one card. We'll choose one card there. We'll bring that visual up here. And then we'll put the first card. And the first card here, it wants to capture IDP. We'll just click IDP. We choose IDP there. So it tells us 243 IDPs. We'll click on the wall again, go to our card, select that card again, come up here. We take total host again, 198. We come to the third, select our card again, and then we go to returnee. Do we have returnee? Yes, we have. Click there, and then we have 53 returnees. Alright, so when you see these reports that are being written, don't be scared. These are the same strategies that they are using to write them, and you can also build even better reports. Now, the first thing I want to do is, I want us to go back again to our visual here. You see that when you look at what we have here, there are no lines around these numbers. The numbers are just plain. But what I want us to do here, I want us to put some lines. We'll click to each visual here and we go to the visual format, and then we go under that card, and then we see. Now I want us to go under that call out value. This is the call out value. That's what is called call out value. Let's go there. We'll go under that call out value, and then we see that the call out value is 24 font size. We'll make it bold. You see that we can off it, we can put it on. We can make it bold, we can make it smaller, and then we can change the color, right? So we have just changed the color, and we can make it even more bigger. And the label of the call out value, we can remove that label. But you see here that that label might be helping us, but I want us to remove that label, and I want us to put a text. I can come under here, come right under here, fit this text, okay? And inside this text I can write number of, what did we see here under this particular? I said number IDPs, number IDPs, and I can select this and make it even bigger, make it 14. And then I can also turn it to whichever color I like. And then here we are. So if I select it again, I want to put it bold.
Some training.
And then I want to make it 16. You see? So when we go back to our visual here, you see that we have the text itself, black color value is black, font size is black. So let's make it black again. So we keep, let's just try to keep the, you see I can come back again here, go back to that same. That's one thing that is good with, I love Power BI. I can come right here and I change a lot of things just by going across these areas. So right here again, I can come here and I get this particular visual, and I go up to the font size here, I bold it, and then I remove that label. You see the label is off. I want you to see closely what I'm doing. I'm going to readjust this man up here just by playing with my mouse very freely, and then I'll come up here and I take my text box. So here again I'll just put, I think that's number of hosts, I think. And then we select that, make it bigger. I think we did 18 or 16 or so, yeah. We bold it, and then we come to, yeah, okay, that is it. We want to change the color as well. We have changed the color. We are adjusting that under there, and then we come here, select that text itself again, and do some small adjustments. Go to visual adjustment, go to our color value, and then we look at what we have there. Okay, it's good. We love it the way it is.
Question no.
Yes, before you come, please let me just record this part, because this part is important. Highlighting 3 visuals at the same time, especially the cards, and then changing their font sizes at the same time. Please, you can come up now with your questions.
I wanted to ask that before highlighting, you held the shift key or the control key to select the 3 of them at once.
Okay, great. You just hold the control key and you select, and you select, and you select. Now I'm on selecting. Select and select. You hold the control key. It's the same principle anywhere you are highlighting and selecting. It's the same principle that apply. Is it okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right, great. So now I want us to move ahead. We'll just go ahead very quick to go again and look at another data by group, by age. Okay, now I want us to come up and say by sex, because up here is by population status. Okay, let's just say population status, and then what I'm going to do here, I'll click this visual, Control C, and then I'll Control V. So I've turned it into 2. I'll bring this one down here, okay, and then I'll bring a text box again, and I do the same. So we want to write a small statement because we are moving now to the next visual. I'll just come here, and then I choose my text box again. The visual doesn't have a good space. The consumers are not going to enjoy the dashboard that you are building. Now I'm upsetting the dashboard a little bit because I'm trying to take for in consideration my context of what I'm building. Okay, so the next thing we are going to have here is this text box that we bring in again, and this text box we are going to be writing, we are just going to say children by divisions. Yeah, we are going to say children by divisions. And then we give okay, and then we bring it up here, and then you see that our visual is right by this corner. So we'll click this option to bring it in the middle, and then by the side here we have effects. So background is white. We want to give it a blurry background like this. Yeah, I think that's what we have there on our, I just hope that that's what we have. Yeah, I think that's what we have. That should be what we have. So thank you so much, Theodore. This is making our work now quick. So right here now, I'm going to choose a particular bar chart, because what I see them use here is a bar chart. So here we have a bar chart. We go back to our visual, we see that we have a bar chart here. You see, so we'll choose this kind of bar chart. We'll come here, I think the cluster bar chart is what they have used. I'll click that, and then it comes here, and then we see how we choose divisions against total children. So here we are. So it gives us just what we need here. So if we go back to our visual here, you see that it is just plain without really some borders. Okay, but we can be more creative to create borders, and we've seen that once you click on a visual, you see that it gives you different options now that relates to that visual. So I want us to start with y-axis. So if we click our values all, you see that it's not going to be good because we need these values here to show FACO, LBLM, and these areas. But if we go on under that y-axis, the title needs to go because the title divisions here, we don't need it. If we go right down there, you see that we have the bars. The labels are off. We want to put them on. So the labels come on because we want to see the numbers. And then when we go down there, we bring down that value down the y-axis. We go now to the x-axis. The values, I don't think we need them because these are the values here from 0, 20, 12, 40. We don't need it. We click out those values. And then even the title, sum of total children, we don't need it. We click out those titles. So when it comes to x-axis, it has its values, it has its title. Y-axis has its value, has its title. Those of you who run away from math class, here you have no choice. You will still interact with math somehow, some way, okay? And then I want us to put this, to bold this. You see that around the y-axis, we have already bold that on, and then we can increase the font sizes in order to give us a better look. I don't know why the font sizes are not growing, but it's fine. So here now, we'll go there. And then when we go to the title here, we go to general, you would find the title here is on. Okay, so we'll just say total children by division. So we'll click sum of off, and then we can change the font size. We can bold it, we can make it bigger to 17. We can change even the color as we are seeing here, and then there we have that visual. Wrap text is the same wrap text in Excel. Okay, I'll just select this again. I want to make this bigger because if it looks bigger, it looks better in my eyes, in your eyes. So this is our text box, so we are just struggling to really fit that in and make it look nice for everyone. So that is it. So this is our dashboard. So we are building our dashboard and we are going. So now I want to come now to my files here. Okay, I go now to save as. We have been building, we have not been saving. Very dangerous. I go to my desktop. I want to say data for impact dashboard, and then I go to my dashboard desktop. Sorry, this is my desktop. Are you sure, Hillary? This is my desktop. Okay, and then I save it there. This is very, very important. It's a good practice. As you are building your reports, you have to be saving your reports because anything can happen. It can go off. So right here, the next thing I want us to look at here, let's go back again. Now we are moving now to the next phase, which is coming up with this particular pie chart. It's very important. There is something here I want you to follow. Very important. So right here, I'm going to choose my pie chart first, and I bring it in here. This pie chart, remember, it goes with quantitative data, so I can choose boys and girls. So I've chosen two items here, boys and girls, and my pie chart is able to give me those two data on. Perfect. I'll come down here again and I'll choose a card. This card now, I'll take total children. So you see that if we look at our sample dashboard here, the pie chart needs to be able to carry the total male and female in the middle of the pie chart, but still showing the pie chart visibly for everyone to see. But you see that if I just take this total children and I bring it here, it covers my pie chart. So what I have to do here is simple. I have to remove the background of my card. So my card has a white background which is shielding my pie chart. I need to make this man visible. I need to remove the background, but I don't know why it is not going out. It has to go out. I've removed the background. What's happening here again?
Okay, an alternative is sending it backward. The
Okay.
card visual. Yes, so you
Okay.
can go to format. No, format in the menu toolbar up top.
Okay.
Yes, then you're going to see send backward. So if you click that, you can say send to the back.
Okay. 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 Great. But I don't know why it refused to. The best option that I would prefer that people use most often is just to come here and then undo it from the anyway, this is another option. You can take this option, but the best option I would prefer is just to go remove all the backgrounds and then you are good to go. But this is another option again. Thank you very much, Theodore. So we can see that here we are now reaching our goal in designing this dashboard. And here again, there is something I want you to see here. Around here, you automatically know this number by looking at the whole pie chart itself, because it tells you some of boys, some of girls. So you already know that this total is totaling up the boys and the girls. And it's giving you here, telling you that in terms of girls is 268, in terms of boys is 226. So someone can easily understand this visual just by looking at it. And then we'll go again to the general here and we look at the title and we want to remove that sum of what just put boys and girls. I want to just put boys and girls and that's it. I don't want to complicate this again, but I would like to always put also borders. It's good to put borders because when we transform this into PDF, your report might be looking so scanty. So here, click on that and then go right up here to effect again, and then here now you look for your borders, visual border, put it on. When I put it on, you see that there is a border now around my visual. It's very, very important. I recommend that you do this. And then now the next thing I want us to look at here very quick is total children reach and persons with disabilities, right? Good. So we'll just come here again. It's still putting the same cards. It's still putting the same cards. Nothing new. Nothing new. Still putting the same cards. Yes. So that is it. So we'll still come here again. I want this to be in the middle. It's still very not centered for me. Yeah. I want this to be in the middle. Perfect. Okay. This good. Okay, and then I want this to come a little bit this way again. Alright, this is good. And then maybe we can have maybe one card again. One card again. So you see that the objective here when you build dashboards is not just flexing your it's not just flexing your IT skills, but trying to build something that people can understand. Now I want us to do double cards, multiple card, okay? Let's try multiple card and see. This multiple cards, I want us to bring in person with disabilities boys and person with disabilities girls. You see? So this multiple cards is what I want us to use here for this purpose. Yeah, so we can use this for this purpose. So this one, we can just extend it here. So it tells us exactly what we want to see here, and then we can go now to our call out values again and we put it into bold, you see, and we make it very big. Then our labels, okay, those labels I want them to leave them there because it tells us what exactly we are looking out for there. And then I want us to put it this color and also make it a little bit bigger. Yes, a little bit bigger. Let's put it 15. Yeah, is good. And then we can also come here now, go to general, look at the title. We can still put on the title. We could still decide, and then we just say persons with disabilities. Okay, yes, persons with disabilities, boys and girls. And then we can still come here again. I think that disabilities, you can correct, oh sorry, disabilities, yeah. And then we can bold that. Yes, we can really bold that and also make it a little bit bigger. And then the last thing here I want us to see here, which is very, very important, let's look at our dashboard again. The last thing here, which is so important, which I saw the label here, is filters. There, I would like us to put some slicers there now. Okay, and these slicers are very important. So now slicers, as you know, allows us to quickly filter this data. So now we have our data here by divisions, but we can still filter by just clicking at one of the columns here. If I click this column of FACO, you see what it does. It now tells me specifically how many girls we reach in FACO, how many boys, how many returnees, how many hosts, how many IDPs, and even right up to the point of telling me the total children in this particular area. It means that if I sum up these girls and boys, it should give me this total children. If I sum up all the status like returnees, hosts, and IDPs, it should give me this total children. Thank you very much, Theodore. Theodore indicated an error in the data where persons with disabilities were getting higher in one of the columns. If you notice that, know that that's wrong. Okay, I hope we have discussed about that a lot. Yes, so when you notice that in your data, know that that data is not correct, because your persons with disability cannot be more than your data because they are coming from your data. And then also now we'll just go ahead and create our filters. So if you look at here, there are different filters here. You have the input filter, you have the bottom filter, you have the list filter. Just go ahead and choose just the one, no, slicer, sorry. Just go ahead and choose the one that says slicers and you click. The moment you click, we now want to slice by organization first. So it is now telling us about MASH, local, and hardy. So this is our slicers here. Okay? When you look on our dashboard here, you see our slicers here, right? Filter by admin level, filter by cluster. Okay? So this is our slicers here. So those slicers are representing filters, and they have their own. Please, is someone
You know, how I design a dashboard. Gradually, he's coming out of the dashboard.
please mute your mic. Thank you.
Oh,
So right here,
all right. No, this one.
please can you mute your mic? So right here, when you create your slicers or your filters, you want them to flow in a systematic order. We want to start by looking at the organization. That's the first. That's how we want to first of all slice the data. Secondly, we want to slice by the division. It's very important. And thirdly, we want to slice by the subdivision. This gives your data a lot of order. It helps your data to have order, because you want to each time go to your data and be able to put it in order and understand what's happening. For instance, if I want to know where Hardy is implementing, I'll click Hardy. Once I click Hardy, Hardy comes now and select the divisions that Hardy is implementing and the subdivisions under those divisions. If I come now and I click MASH local, MASH local now tells me where they are operating, Facon Lebiale menu, and then the subdivisions that they are operating. This way of interacting with data is very, very important. If I'm giving you a report about this data, I'll start by saying, okay, Hadi, I can even use it to write a narrative report. By this narrative report, I can tell you the organization name, I can tell you the amount of girls they have reached, and boys and girls, and the location that they are implementing. Just by clicking and say, okay, Hadi operates in 3 subdivisions, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 subdivisions and 3 divisions. In terms of total children, this is the amount they have reached. In terms of person with disability boys, this is the amount, this is the amount. In terms of girls, this is the amount. In terms of boys, this is the amount. In terms of the different, the data is there in different formats. And you can be able to really, really see what they are doing and understand what they are doing. This is very, very important. This is extremely important. Okay? So now, inside our slicers, as we saw all through our lesson, if I click on this slicer and I come to format your visual, under slicer setting here, I click. You see that it gives me different ways that I can display my slicers. Now I have it in a vertical list form. I can put it in a teal form. You see, if I open this, you have different columns, right? I can put it in a drop down form. Now I can drop down before I see them. Okay, but most often I'll prefer that you put it in a vertical list, so that once you are opening your dashboard, you are seeing exactly what you are doing and where you are doing. So if you choose a particular organization, it chooses the subdivision. You choose a particular division, it comes and choose those subdivisions in those divisions. Why is it so? Because it has been organized in your Excel. So along that particular role, that relationship is created. That particular row where the particular division runs through that row, the particular subdivision runs through that same row, the particular organization runs through that same role, and the particular numbers that you are analyzing, whether it's number of girls, boys, they run through that same role. So anytime you are filtering, you are playing around that same role, it is relating back to that same role and giving you the data from that same role. That is why we are having this. And that is why Excel remains one of the most powerful tools to use to analyze your data and manage your data. I want to bring this emoji into our Power BI. I'll just click on it, right click, and then I want to save as, okay? I want to save it as a picture. So I'll just say disability logo, yeah. And then I want to save it on my desktop. I've saved that. Then I'll open my Power BI now. I'll go to insert. I'll go to my image. Once it comes here, I'll go now under my style, and then I go to image and I pick that image which says disability logo, and I click and I bring it inside. So it's right here. So here we are. So here now you can decide to put it anywhere here that will be showing that, okay, this data is relating to this. Okay, so I'll prefer to put it somewhere here, or we can put it, let me see something here, Okay, good. So you just have to be creative, guys. You just have to be creative. Once you are creative, you are good to go. You see that we have come on now with another technique where we have just been able to, because the idea, you just wonder when people see it, they should know that, okay, this data is for. So that is it, Boris. Let me also create a border here, put a small border here, goes to effects here, and then put border, visual border here. Perfect. So Boris, are you happy now? Let's also insert another image. That image will be total children. I think, where is it? Hardy logo, is that how I saved it? No, total children. Yeah, I saved it as total children. Yeah, this is it here. You see it comes in here. So I can also put this somewhere around here, and we are good to go. So all the dashboard you saw online is not magic. We can also build our own beautiful dashboards. So that's it. Any other question, please?